Have you ever noticed something strange? Sometimes, the kindest person in the room is also the loneliest. The one who remembers birthdays, the one who checks on everyone, the one who always listens. Yet somehow, they're the one eating dinner alone, scrolling through old conversations, wondering why no one reaches out first. And meanwhile, people who seem selfish, arrogant, or emotionally unavailable always seem surrounded by others. How does that make any sense? If being a good person attracts people, why do so many genuinely good people end up alone? Today, we're going to uncover the psychology behind this paradox. And by the end of this video, you'll probably see yourself, or someone you love, in a completely different way. Let's clear up one misconception first. Being alone doesn't automatically mean you're unlovable. It doesn't mean you failed socially. And it definitely doesn't mean something is wrong with you. In psychology, loneliness isn't simply the absence of people. It's the absence of meaningful emotional connection. You can feel deeply lonely in a crowded room or completely at peace by yourself. So when we ask why good people end up alone, we're really asking, why do people with good intentions often struggle to build deep, lasting relationships? The answer is more complicated than most people think. The first reason: good people often become emotional caregivers. Think about it. If you're naturally kind, people come to you with their problems. You're the therapist friend, the peacemaker, the listener, the one who always says, "It's okay. I understand. I'm here for you." At first, this feels meaningful. Helping others gives your life purpose. But over time, something subtle happens. The relationship becomes one-sided. People become comfortable receiving your support without ever asking how you're doing. And eventually, you become emotionally useful instead of emotionally known. Everyone knows your kindness. Very few know your pain. That's one of the loneliest places a human being can live. The second reason is something psychologists call high empathy. Empathy is beautiful, but too much empathy without boundaries becomes self-neglect. Highly empathetic people often ignore red flags because they understand everyone's reasons. He had a difficult childhood. She's under a lot of stress. They didn't mean it. Instead of protecting themselves, they excuse unhealthy behavior. Again and again, until they wake up one day, emotionally exhausted. The tragedy is that their kindness wasn't appreciated. It was expected. Here's something fascinating. Research suggests that people who are highly agreeable often avoid conflict to preserve harmony. Sounds like a good thing until you realize that real intimacy requires honest disagreement. If you're constantly saying yes, constantly adapting, constantly becoming whoever everyone else needs, people never actually meet the real you. They meet the version of you that makes life easier. And that's not connection. That's performance. Now here's where things become uncomfortable. Many good people secretly believe, if I love people enough, they'll eventually love me back. It sounds beautiful. But relationships don't work like transactions. Love isn't earned by self-sacrifice alone. Healthy relationships require mutual investment. If one person keeps giving while the other keeps receiving, that's not love. That's imbalance. Unfortunately, many genuinely kind people mistake being needed for being valued. Those are two very different things. Someone can need your help without caring about your heart. Let's talk about another hidden reason. Good people often struggle to ask for help. Think about that. They're always available for everyone else, but when they're hurting, they disappear. They don't want to burden anyone. They don't want to seem weak. They tell themselves, "I'll deal with it. I'll be fine. I don't want to bother anyone." Ironically, the people who support everyone often suffer alone. Not because nobody cares, but because nobody knows. Now imagine carrying that pattern for years. You become independent. Very independent. People admire you. You've got everything together. You're so strong. You never need anything. But strength has a hidden cost. People stop checking on you. Not because they don't care, because they assume you're okay. Eventually, your independence becomes emotional invisibility. There's another psychological phenomenon worth mentioning. It's called emotional reciprocity. Healthy relationships grow through balanced vulnerability. One person opens up, the other opens up. Trust deepens, connection grows. But many good people only listen. They rarely share because they don't want to make the conversation about themselves. The result? Everyone feels close to them, while they feel close to almost no one. That's a painful paradox. You can know everything about everyone while nobody truly knows you. Here's the twist most people never expect. Sometimes being too nice isn't kindness. Sometimes it's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of conflict. Fear that if you stop giving, people will stop loving you. That's why boundaries feel so uncomfortable. They risk disappointing others. But boundaries don't destroy healthy relationships. They reveal unhealthy ones. The people who disappear because you finally respected yourself were often benefiting from your lack of boundaries, not your friendship. So, what actually changes this? The answer isn't becoming colder. It's becoming more authentic. Real kindness includes yourself. Real generosity includes limits. Real love includes honesty. Start saying what you actually think. Let people support you. Allow yourself to be imperfect. Disappoint people when necessary. Because here's the truth. People don't build deep relationships with perfect people. They build them with real people. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. Being good isn't enough. Not because goodness has no value, but because connection requires more than goodness. It requires vulnerability, boundaries, self-respect, and the courage to believe that you're worthy of love even when you're not constantly proving it. So if you've ever felt alone despite having a good heart, maybe your kindness was never the problem. Maybe you simply forgot to include yourself among the people who deserved it. If this video made you see yourself differently, remember this. The goal isn't to become less kind. The goal is to become equally kind to yourself, because that's where healthy relationships begin. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think good people end up alone because they're too kind or because they never learn to protect their own hearts? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read every perspective. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more psychology and human behavior insights.